All right, hi, welcome back. So today we're going to talk about hospitals, and the charitable is it's got a pretty uh, wide goal or wide view. Um, what what we're attempting is going to affect not just the homeless, not just $0 to $1,000 a month, not just a worldwide shelter, not just a food program, housing program, jobs program. Um, we really want to hit home and try to affect as many places as possible that really make your life a better quality. So um, here in the subject line, you see that we're just talking about the hospital. So our first thing is things that we don't think about is kind of our job. But what do you think about when you go to a hospital? You think about, hey, I don't feel well. These people are quality. They know and they understand what I'm gonna, what I'm going to be going through from this visit on into the future. They should understand based on what I tell them about my experience and my current symptoms, which is, a patient's job. They're gonna understand, hey, we needed to know this. We needed to understand this. They're gonna ask you questions, probing things, and then they're gonna do testing, right? So with current, machinery, testing, schooling, and then the work of hospital nurses and doctors, etc., we're going to have some sort of understanding, and hopefully we'll get an answer to. So all that's great, and it's really positive, and we like it. But I wanted to bring a subject up that I think is something that people don't normally speak about, and something that we don't really think about, and that's it's a couple things. So there's in the future we have a diseases treatment program that we're going to try to get out. So this will be a singular vision for an individual, large for groups in specific areas, and then hopefully if things go well, a worldwide edition. Um, but here's what I'd like to bring up that people don't think about when they think of a hospital is that when you go into a hospital, you're sick, right? Everybody else is sick, and it's there's the same things at your house, right? There's floor, there's chairs, there's little beds, and everything that you touch and cough and sneeze on. So any amount of people have any anything at all wrong with them, and all those things are there present in the hospital. Now, of course, you say, oh, well, that's hopefully they keep it very clean. And yeah, that's the goal. But I just want to draw your attention a little bit to some of the pictures here in the background. And by the way, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. If you like it, go ahead and like it, share it, and then make some comments so we know what you're thinking. Um, if you look at the stethoscope there on the book, um, and this ship here, there's all kinds of different shapes and angles and weird things. And bacteria and viruses are living organisms, right? So it's generally accepted in medicine that we kind of have the bacteria system whooped, all right? And we can give you medicine for this and that and take care of those things. But in most cases, viruses are a tougher situation and a tougher thing to deal with. So we'd like to, and I think we've found some things. We'd like to do a non-invasive, so treatments that don't have any side effects at all, right? So there is no, the commercials that show the medicine with like the huge list of things at the end. It's almost funny because you're like, are you serious? I have this problem now. You want me to take this medicine, and who knows, what's going to happen. So um, anyway, one thing I wanted to bring up is that um, let's see here. Wait for the picture to come up. in one of these pictures, you see a hospital room, and it's, there's all kinds of nooks and crannies. All right, so the bed has rails. Of course, they're going to wash the sheets, and 142 plus degrees, I believe, is what it takes to actually disinfect. Okay, here we go. So let's see if we can pause this picture. Um, Again, I apologize. I'm new. Thanks for your patience. All right, so you can see way different shapes and sizes, and just think for a second about the size of the average hospital and about one person going in there and cleaning every single nook and cranny. Well, that's basic. It's a difficult situation. So what we figured out is a way to get everything clean and do it within a timely fashion, right? So and so has is basically male, female, this age, general age, from like what 10 to 20, 20 to 30, whatever they do for the generalization. And then they have this issue, right? Well, we want to make sure that we can not only get that room or the public area clean, but we want to be able to categorize what is there and what is left over. So there's a few different things, and maybe in another video we'll get more into depth, and certainly as we get an opportunity to move forward with this. But right now, I just want to say that we've devised a program that will help categorize those things, and it'll be able to tell us, hey, this person had this, and the reason that that was there was this thing. So that's our goal, and we have that figured out. Um, and the other thing too is just to get every little nook and cranny, right? Because these are living organisms. If you see on the microscope, all the little guys are swimming around and all that stuff. So we want to make sure that there are no, there is no presence of something else. So if somebody had an issue, they left this room, the next time that you go in this room, we don't want you to have to deal with anything, right? There shouldn't be anything left over because that would add complication. You would be able to possibly get, a further disease. Your immune system would be weaker because of fighting this new disease, and you would have, a longer healing period, even more issues. So basically just trying to stay away from getting a different disease or getting worse yourself. The thing that we can tell you, though, that's not proprietary, is that strengthening your immune system is a very, very big way to go. Um, your body has a natural healing process, and in any number of things. Um, and what you want to know is that let's call the body's major organs or whatever, they behave in a certain way, and you eat food and we get rid of the food, but your body absorbs the nutrition, right? Now with water, and because we have a heart for not only the homeless, but uh, for those who are making less than $1,000 a month, drinking water is something that almost everybody can do. And not to be awkward or strange, but you want the color of it coming out to be the same color coming in. So you want to drink a whole bunch of water. Can take a couple days to get used to. Sometimes you'll feel bloated and you'll feel like, oh no, I have to go to the bathroom every minute. Your body will get used to that. And it'll sort of level out, and you'll get used to a schedule of normal activity. Um, but that's basically something that anybody at any financial point can do to increase themselves and to feel better. Um, and again, back to the organic fruit thing. If you try out our little challenge is to say, go buy one organic fruit and pick a day, skip breakfast, eat that fruit for lunch, and just be aware of how much extra energy or how much energy that you have and how long that lasts. It's a huge difference, and it really will help. Um, The other thing is I have done some nutritional work, some research, and so forth. I've spent 15 plus years researching different things, and the thing that I will say about the diet realm is, again, first of all, it's water. Water is super easy. It gets everything going. Your body needs water in all kinds of different ways, and when what's coming out is the same as what was coming in, you're at optimum efficiency basically. So that's a big deal. The other one is it's you say, oh, I'm out of shape or I'm maybe a little overweight. It's much easier to pick one good for you thing that you do enjoy instead of drastically changing your whole entire diet. That doesn't really work because it freaks you out, right? You're not used to it. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. You say, oh, it's good for me, right? Well, that's a silly way to live life. We got to do the things that we like and enjoy, and see what else we can add to ourselves. So if you're on a diet or you're thinking about taking a diet, treat your diet that way. Um, Say, hey, I'm going to try this thing that I know is good for me. Okay. It's natural, it's organic, it's got plenty of nutrition, whatever the qualifier is. Maybe I don't have enough money to do that, on a regular basis or to completely change. But if you can do, one item for one day or one meal for one day, that's great. So you want to just add good things, and then as you go along, keep adding good things. So you add something that you do like, try three or four things. You say, hey, no, I actually like this one thing. I tried 10 different things, I only liked two, three of them. Well, stick with those two or three. All right. Variety is another thing. Okay. So that's about the last piece of the puzzle. In between water, adding the good stuff to your diet, and then some sort of exercise. So, the major problems with getting old and being bedridden is that you don't have any movement. So muscles work based off of protein, right? So protein is going to help build the muscle, and muscle builds with activity. All right. So there's some difference between regular living and like weightlifting. They'll say like toned muscle or like a weightlifter term. Um, they'll use a word that sounds negative and they'll call it fatty muscle. So the difference there is the tone muscle is you do quite a few repetitions or you do a longer period of lighter weights versus bulking up with really, really heavy weight or very, very strenuous activity. Now you can do both. You can do either. It's kind of up to you. What happens though is when you do the larger, heavier activities, your muscles tear, and when they regrow back together, due in part always because of nutrition. So the nutrition is feeding the growth of the muscle, right? So you can't forget that. Um, and if you try to do like a protein or anything like that, just go as natural as possible. If you buy that kind of stuff at a natural store, you're miles ahead and you never have to think about it. So um, it takes very, very little research to find something that's really good in an environment that's totally natural. So, but that's a couple subjects. We can break that down and go further in other videos if you guys happen to be interested. Anyway, so just to recap, we got water, we've got nutrition, we have exercise. So, taking a walk is great. If you have a pet or whatever, take them for a walk. Um, skipping a drive somewhere and taking a walk instead if you're close to something, that's great. Pick a park, pick a library, walk with your kid to school, take a bike ride, something along those lines. So anyway, let's see. That's the majority of the conversation there. But once again, our goal is to sorry, I was writing earlier. Have my glove on. Just noticed. But we have a hospital. This is where we're supposed to get, well, and in reality, it's it's kind of rough way to look at it, and I don't want to I don't want to be mean or talk trash, but it's actually like a huge collection bin of a bunch of terrible diseases, because everybody who's sick has gone there and breathed, they've touched, they've sneezed, they've coughed, they've used the restroom. So every disease possible basically is living inside of this hospital or doctor's room or doctor's office. Um, so keep that in mind when you go to the hospital. Make sure to get a change of clothes ready, right? So you may want to come home and immediately wash the clothes that you just had. Take a shower. Um, get maybe lay something out even before you leave. But make sure that you have the things that you've touched and have gotten on you may not get on the things at home. And you'll recognize this. You can recognize there's different smells and different feels and different types of doctors' offices. So it's not beyond the realm of possibility. The other subject too is that doctors, if you read about it, early doctors actually started, and it's just a one sentence. It's really nice. Um, they started with people who paid attention to their bodies. So, I felt this way with my body. I did something different. I didn't like it, or I did have an improvement. Just pay attention to your own body and kind of see what's going on there. So, um, but again, the diet world is pretty easy. There's a little bit of heart rate. You want to have some stretching involved as well, and just nice light activity as often as you can is the absolute best. So basically, with those three things, you can do most things. You can get out of a lot of mild cases of basically anything. Proper nutrition, rest, and then exercise are your three big ones. For winning over that. The only other thing is sort of what we're talking about here with the hospital, and that's environmental stuff. So when you're around certain things that can add or detract from your health. Um, Somebody else that you're around all the time with the disease, that's something that's called communicable. You've been to a pool, you've seen that sign in the hot tub, and you're like, what? What does that mean? I don't have a cold right now. You're not quite sure what that means. But some diseases, communicable means that your body and that small distance of space can communicate that disease to the other person. Um, so that's why we're not allowed to be sick. That's why we're supposed to take showers before we go in the pool and all that stuff. So, um, I really appreciate you, and thanks for your time. A little bit of a different subject, other than just the homeless, and hopefully we're gonna put a whole world in front of you that seems very interesting. Um, Once again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you like what's going on so far. And it's the hospitalization thing when it comes down to dollars, as far as the charitable side of it. Um, we're talking in the rough neighborhood of like $100 million. We're talking about a facility. We're talking about top-notch paid workers. We're talking about machines that can detect and do some heavy lifting for us. But our goal is to not only make sure that the hospital or doctor's offices are cleaned through the process that we're developing, but we also want to be able to say, hey, we want to list out every single disease that we see and that we deal with in this world. Even as new ones come up and say, these certain things are better. We have found that these treatments not only have had no side effects, but also have had efficacy, or will able to assist you, or people got better, however you want to say that. So it's pretty exciting, and I can't go into all the details just because it's stuff that people aren't doing. But it's a real big deal, and it's several years in the coming, so pretty fun. Um, anyway, you're important, and you know live live your life. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks so much.